What is up, everybody? So in this video, we're going to go over how to create lead forms, right, inside HighLevel. Okay, so just to, before we actually start building them out, I want to show you a few types of lead forms that we can do and kind of like different types so that you have a good understanding of lead forms, right? So lead forms basically is a form that captures lead information, and that can be mainly, contact info like email, phone, and name, right? This is one right here. This is from Russell Brunson, funnel, ClickFunnels. This is one of his books, the ebooks that he sends out. All he has on this form right now is just one email field and a button. Okay, so basically, if someone wants this marketing black book, they put in their email, they click get access, it gets sent to their email. That is one lead, right? That's a lead. Then we have over here a different type. This is Jeremy Miner from 7th Level. Basically, as you can see here, this is an actual sales page. So he's selling things for $27, right? A book or whatever it is. And what happens here is if someone puts in their email and their phone first, then hits send my book, then it goes to the checkout page. So he collects a lead first, lead information, email and phone, before he puts them into the actual checkout page where they can actually purchase. This is super valuable because a lot of people that input their information never really check out or actually purchase the actual item. So like that, once you have that contact info, you can actually reach back out, nurture them, the whole entire thing, right? Same thing right here. HighLevel does it themselves, right? Where you click on 14-day free trial. It's a two-step order form, which means that first form here, this is lead form, right? It's collecting lead information first. Now, the one that we're going to learn how to build today is mainly things like this. This is one from Pipedrive. So basically, you want this item, right? You want a lead magnet. You want to push out a lead magnet. You can promise people, hey, I'm going to give you this lead magnet if you give me your information, right? And I'll send it to your email basically, or I'll text it to you, whatever it is. So this is a simple one, email button form. I'm going to show you something more like this. Here's one funnel that we give out in the GoHighLevel starter kit that I have. Basically, you have a lead form or a funnel that's a lead funnel. And that first funnel page is basically a lead form right here, right? Full name, email, get access, and then it gets sent to the thank you page, which is where we say, hey, check your email. And then if you do want to add a, step number 2, you can. But that's basically what I'm going to show you how to do today. So how do we do that with inside HighLevel? Once we are inside your sub account, then you're going to go over here to the bottom left where it says sites. Click on that. And then once you are here on the top right, you're going to see forms, right? Now, there's other things that we can do like surveys, quizzes. But in this video, I'm going to mainly focus on forms and the form builder. So if I click on form builder, right, I'm going to then click on add form. You can do from scratch. There's also a bunch of templates here if you have the agency view, but you can start from scratch, click on create. And then once we're in there, we can create forms that we can add and embed into either different landing pages or your funnel that you have inside HighLevel. So simple form right here. As you can see, it's drag and drop. So I have first name, last name, phone, email. You do have these consent boxes that you can add if you want to have terms and conditions, and they have to check it. In this case, I usually don't do none of this, to be honest. So I take all this off. First name, last name, email, phone. If I'm doing a lead funnel, I'm going to do it as simple as possible. That's probably why you see people just do give me your email and phone, which is the most valuable thing, or just give me your email. They have a really good sequence like ClickFunnels and Pipedrive does, and also HighLevel, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to do full name, right? I'm going to click on that field. And to do that, by the way, is on the left-hand side. So on the left-hand side, you're going to have quick add items like personal info. So if I wanted to, if I'm doing this from scratch, right, I can do full name, just drag and drop. I can do first name and last name if I want to do separate. In this case, for lead forms or lead magnets, I usually just do full name, keep it required. I will also do their phone and their email, right? These are the most important parts. If you add the phone, it will drop in the terms and conditions, but you can always just click on the actual box and click X so you can take them out. And you want to make sure they're all required by seeing the little asterisk. If you don't see the asterisk, it means that they're not required, like this, right? So make sure they're required, of course, if you want it to be required. So full name, email, phone. That's the basics. Then if we click on the actual settings, you're going to see here what happens on submit, right? So you can do it two ways. If you're doing it within inside the funnel itself, the on submit can redirect to the next step of the funnel, right? Or step 2, like this one. So I can, make sure that when they submit this form, it's going to go to this page. You can do that too on the funnel side. I'm going to show you that. You can also showcase where you're going to go here, in the sense of if you want to do just, don't redirect anywhere, just show a message like, thank you for taking the time to complete this form. You can do that too to keep it simple. If you're not building this out in a funnel, this is probably the easiest way to do. Or if you already have like an order, like a thank you page already done, you can basically link to whatever URL you want it to redirect once they submit. And there's a few other things here that we can do, like, add your Facebook pixel ID here. You can do that. You can also basically configure the events, like, on page view, and also submit application on form submission. Another thing I always like to do is sticky contact. And that's if they already have filled out previously on the same device or browser some information, then it can always just, autofill their stuff. So that's really good. And you can hit save. In this case, I am going to do message. Keep that like that, because I'm going to show you how to use forms without even creating a funnel, right? So once you have something like this, you can already start using it. I can also do things on the left-hand side, like adding a text. So if I scroll all the way down, you can actually have like a text that you can have like a title here. So you can something like, fill out the form below. Right, and I can even do something like, let's say I want to do free instant access, something like that, free instant access, and then in the bottom of it, I can do a paragraph, right? Or actually just do that like this. 1 second. And then right in the bottom, I can do more text. That can be paragraph text. And I can do something like this, right? So this is kind of a way where you can see how these forms get created, right? So if I want to do that, I can then do, paragraph. And then on the right-hand side, you have more settings for the actual paragraph itself. So if I want to do, like, I want to make this short and I want to do it in the middle, it's all intuitive like that, right? You also have padding on the top and bottom of these guys. So if you ever want to, add more padding or whatever it is, you can do it from here on these guys in the pixel size. So if I want to do more spacing on the top, less spacing, you can do it there. I can also do the same thing when it comes to the form itself. So if I click on the right, you see where it says styling and options. These forms, we can do it 2 columns. You can do it like that. You can do single line like this. You can do single column like this. You can also, there's a bunch of other themes here on the right-hand side. And then on the advanced, you can do stuff like the border. You can do shadow. You can also do stuff like, you see how we have this very top bar has like a lot of spacing on the top. If I want to do less spacing, I can do it in the bottom right here. And I can take away all that spacing, do a little bit of spacing here in the bottom and on the top. So if I want to keep it clean, we can do it just like that, right? And you can bold, not bold. In this case, I can just leave it like that. That would work perfectly. And then once I do that, we can rename this form, right? Let's say free instant access for the black book. And then once I have that, save it. I can then, instead of, you can actually go into the funnel and, click on the element form, and you can drag and drop this form into a funnel, or you can go on top right here where it says integrate. And then here we can actually embed this code somewhere, or on the share button, you can actually have the link to the funnel itself, right? So if I click on copy, it's going to give you a live link that you can actually use and actually put it, somewhere out there, right, on the actual internet, in your link in bio, whatever it is. You can keep it super simple is what I'm trying to get to here, right? And then when someone does submit, their information is going to go into your HighLevel account, right, which is super cool. So like that, we can do something like josh@gmail.com. And then let's say we're doing, right, submit. And then it's going to give us a little message. Thank you for your time for completing this form. And perfect. Now, if I go back to my HighLevel account, you're going to see in contacts, that information got pulled over, right? Which is super nice. So as you can see here, this is the one that just happened. And bam, right? So that's super cool. That's the easiest way to put together a lead form inside HighLevel. And there's other things like if you go over here to sites, and then if we go to lead funnel is one of the funnels that we have here. As you can see inside a funnel, it would be as simple as just drag and drop into the actual element, right? So this is an element that I have right now. If I wanted to, I can also right in the bottom, click on the little thing, and then in the elements, you're going to see a little form element, and I can just drop that. Once you do that, you're going to see it's going to say select your form. The one that we just created is the black one, the black book one, and bam, there it is, right, into the funnel itself, right? So that's the simple way of how to create lead form inside HighLevel. And the last thing I'm going to show you is, let's say if someone submits this, I don't want it to show a message, but I want it to redirect it to the thank you page that I have built out here, right? How do we do that? Super simple. Go back to the actual opt-in page, right, where they put in their information. Click on the form itself like this. On the right-hand side, you're going to see at the very bottom, it says button actions and then redirect action. Now, most of the time, it's going to be by default, use action from form builder. And if it does that, it will use the actual message. But if you put there, go to next step or go to a specific URL, that would take priority, right? So if I go to next step, hit save, then when someone submits this form, they're going to go to the thank you page, all right? Well, that is this video on how to create lead forms inside HighLevel. I hope it was super valuable, guys. If you do have any questions, let me know in the comments itself. If you did get some value from this video, click on that like button, subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be breaking down HighLevel from top to bottom. And other than that, I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye.